This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter.
And this is Kyrsten Leister at Burger_Burger on Twitter.
And this is
What?
Oh,
what is it? Blimey! You forgot the name of your own podcast?
Yeah, I have it here. Okay, and this...
You have it written down in front of you, and
Well, it's worse that I just finished recording another episode of this exact same podcast.
Oh, man, this quarantine is really taking a toll on you.
It is. And this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. Welcome to The Obsessive Viewer. We're a movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show, each episode. You can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com, more of our podcasts at ObsessiveViewer.com/podcasts. You can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. You can also support us on Patreon at Patreon.com/ObsessiveViewer at the minimum rate of $1 per month for an exclusive RSS feed with content recorded specifically for Patreon supporters. I'm your host, the aforementioned Matt Hurt, and joining me today in this special edition of the podcast is recurring co-host Kyrsten Leister.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Hi, Matt.
How's it going?
It's good to see your face.
It is good to see your face, too. I was actually going... So, you posted, like 1 or 200 different, avatar thing.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I saw that on my feed, I wanted to respond and be like, I'll buy you like a hazmat suit or something if you want to go outside, because you need to go outside.
Those are all my friends. I have a bunch more that I downloaded that I need to upload. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh,
no, I think my phone came unplugged.
Oh, no.
That's okay. That's all right.
Okay.
I'm not getting up, so.
Good. So, so I'm going to actually finish this. So,
oh, yeah, you got more.
A little bit, yeah. You haven't listened to any of the episodes since the quarantine, right?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay, so this is going to...
Sorry.
It's fine. This is going to be new for you.
Is it?
It is. It is currently April 26, 2020, and we're at the tail end of day 39 of the first and, dear God, hopefully last ever COVID-19 Film Festival. The COVID-19 Film Festival is basically me chronicling all the movies I watch while working from home and quarantining myself. I'm presenting these podcasts as if I were covering a film festival, and this is a special episode because Kyrsten is here with me for the entire duration of the podcast, for better or worse.
Yeah. Have you watched any of my movies that I suggested?
Oh, yeah. Okay, no. But...
No.
No. So, what I did was...
You son of a bitch.
The idea was that I was going to have the co-hosts submit 3 or 4 movies to me for me to watch, and then build, an episode around that. I did that with Mike, and then,
And then just stopped.
because,
cool.
As the quarantine kind of went more, I was like...
It went more. That's you know what? I get it.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense. Quarantine just went more.
Exactly. So, I kind of, started to slowly distance myself from, themed kind of, days. Because, my idea was, I'll make this Kyrsten Day, and I'll watch all of the movies she did, and then we'll talk
It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah. And then, it got to a point where it was, everything is on fire, and...
Yeah.
I don't want to start working from home, start the day working from home and then have a list of movies I have to watch.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
and then also I started texting you about Community, so you started rewatching Community.
Yeah. So this is going to be kind of a potpourri kind of episode. I think it's more...
Potpourri.
Potpourri.
Potpourri. Blimey.
God.
Crumpet.
We have listeners in the UK. We're not making fun of you.
I kind of am.
Well, yeah. Well, that's Kyrsten for you.
Hey. I'm unlikable.
This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first episode of the podcast in this year? Can that be right?
Is it? I don't know.
Wait, did we do an episode for Birds of Prey?
I don't know, Matt. It feels like it's been April for 2 years now.
It has been. And our last episode where you were on was the Cats episode in 2019.
Oh, okay.
So welcome back to the podcast.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah. So
I've seen 2 new movies this year.
Oh God.
Birds of Prey and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh God. Wow. What's your number one movie of the year?
Birds of Prey. Ask me what my last ranked movie is.
What's the worst movie you've seen this year?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nice.
Still better than Cats.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh. I didn't vocalize this joke, but I kept thinking that, like, you remember in the trailer for Cats where it was like, this Christmas you will believe. And like my whole thing was like, believe what? Like there's nothing, like I don't understand what that was.
You'll believe in cats.
Yes. But I think that the reason that we're under quarantine and the reason that COVID-19 has taken hold is because we didn't believe in December. So
I think you're right. I certainly didn't believe. So
yeah, I didn't either. But yeah.
Yeah.
So how has your 2020 been so far?
Well, Matt, it's been awful.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
How's yours?
Yeah.
My world's on fire. How about yours?
Yes.
That's the way I like it, and I never get bored.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Obsessive Viewer.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Do we have to pay for rights or
No.
how does that work? You figure that out. It's
I think it's fair use. We can't play the actual song, but just in case, if we did, we would only be able to play a little bit of it, and then we would have to critique it. So
that was a tribute.
Yeah, your performance was bad.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now,
it was, wasn't it? It was real bad. I was at a wedding, my friend Alexis's wedding from college, and that song was playing, and we were all jamming on the dance floor, and then the music cut out, like halfway through the song. There was something wrong. They were having like technical difficulties.
In my head, there is a record scratch.
Yeah, even though it was like an iPhone. But we picked up the song and we finished it a cappella.
Nice.
On the dance floor. It was a beautiful moment.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like 200 drunk white people just rocking out to Smash Mouth.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of drunk white people, my brother got married. That was great.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I have stories to tell you about that, but it won't be on the podcast.
No, not for this. That's for our ears only.
Yes.
And maybe the patrons on Patreon.
Maybe. But, yeah, and we've only seen one movie in the theater together this year, and that was Birds
of Prey, my number one movie.
Yes.
This year.
And man.
Are those, like, the only 2 movies that are going to be eligible for Oscars, or
no?
What if it was just Birds of Prey and Sonic the Hedgehog?
Honestly, I honestly think I read somewhere that they are looking at alternative, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
facts.
What?
Alternative facts?
No, that's fake news. Alternative rules and stuff, because because
they have released, like, Onward.
Yeah,
technically came out this year, and even though it didn't get a theatrical release,
it did get a theatrical release.
It did?
Yeah, for like.
Oh yeah, you saw it.
Yeah. And a kid.
I don't know. The timeline is all screwy right now.
It is.
I've been drunk for a majority of it.
Nice.
So
I haven't drank that much. Like, I had a couple of beers one night, and I was like, I'm fine.
I'm not fine.
I'm not fine. This is not fine. So yeah.
I don't know. There was one day that I accidentally drank an entire jug of cider.
I think I saw.
I say accidentally, but like I did it.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure how that qualifies as an accident.
There was a day where I saw your tweet about that, and I accidentally judged you for it.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, like I don't know about you, but like I am really missing going to the movie theater. Like that's the most like, well,
Yeah. I mean, you can still watch movies at home, but there's just something about the experience of going to a movie theater.
exactly. And when we go as much as we do, like this is the vacuum of that is really hard to handle.
Yeah. I mean, I really like going to see movies and then going to get food and talking about the movie we just saw.
Oh yeah, and making
And we can't do that.
yeah, like
I mean, I guess we could like watch movies together and then talk about them.
we could,
like we're going to do here in a minute, but
but who would want that?
I mean, who would pay to listen
Right. Well,
to that?
That's patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. But no, like last night I watched a movie, and like this is something I'm going to probably do because like I was thinking about it, like we were talking before recording, like I have had like panic attacks and stuff, like not so much recently, but like in the first few weeks, like it's like a daily panic attack, and part of like the thing that I do to help me like not feel like depressed and panicky and stuff is like I would go to the movies and like turn my brain off for like 2 hours or just let like be in a movie theater for 2 hours, and like I can't do that. Like I have to develop new coping mechanisms and stuff. But I watched a movie last night and it was called Vivarium.
What did you watch?
It was called Vivarium. For listeners, if you listen to the the episode before this, I talk about it. It's not very good. It is very much like it's a Twilight Zone-y kind of movie. It's like a couple, Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots. They are.
What a great name!
Oh my god, I know, right?
Imogen Poots.
Oh yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg. No, Imogen Poots, and she's great. She's.
Wasn't she in Green Room?
She was, and she was also in 28 Weeks Later. But
good old Pootie.
Yeah. But the movie is not that good. If you want to hear my thoughts on it, go check out the last episode. But I did like, since it's a new release, it was released digitally this year. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put my phone on silent. I'm gonna set my phone on the other side of the couch. I'm gonna prop my feet up.
So it's like you're in a movie theater.
Exactly. And like I made the conscious choice. Like, okay, I'm not going to pause it. I'm not going to check how much time is remaining and stuff. You
are gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
3/4 of the way through the movie, though.
I didn't, but I did. This is embarrassing. Well, it's not embarrassing. It's quarantine.
I will be the judge of that. Yes. Continue.
So Pizza was sitting right next to me, and like I was petting her and stuff, and like I was saying, you know, like, oh, you're a pretty little baby, and then like for a brief second, I just like I said out loud as a joke to no one, I said shh. So I shushed myself, and then I felt like, oh, I want to get like a Coke or something from the fridge. So I got up and then I like looked at Pizza. I was like, I'm gonna run to the concession. So
okay, it's funny, but I don't think for the same reasons that you think it's funny.
Oh, just you wait. So first of all,
I'm waiting.
I got my Coke and it's like a can of Coke, and I'm like, this isn't the same. It's not a like 32-ounce fucking cup. It's a little 12-ounce can of Coke. But then also, I kept thinking, man, I wish I would have, and this is probably what I'm going to do going forward when I do this. I want to go on YouTube and find the AMC Theaters pre-roll stuff and cast it to my TV and then play the movie after that. So, yeah. So quarantine's going great.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That is the correct response. Yeah. But
yikes.
Yeah. But yeah, I do. I miss the movie theater experience.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
The cinema.
The cinema, yes. Yeah, it sucks, but hopefully it'll reopen at some point.
We're not.
That's a legitimate fear of mine.
AMC is having some trouble.
Yeah, and like, I don't know what and like I think Warner Brothers. There was a report that they are rethinking the theatrical model after all this, and I don't know how heavy that is or how much they're rethinking it. But it's like in the early days of this, Mike had messaged the group chat that we're in for me and him and Tiny. And he was like, we might be seeing like the end of like the theatrical movie industry. And I was like, that's scary. And then all of the stuff about AMC potentially going bankrupt and stuff.
I think a lot of things are going to be different after this.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about some TV and some movies. This will be kind of an interesting experience for us because usually when we go see something or we watch something together, we discuss it beforehand.
Yes.
And then we talk about it on the podcast. Right. But this will be the first time we have talked about everything we're going to talk about today.
Right, and that's exciting.
So we can't like line up our opinions so they match. Not that we do that.
No. I don't even have an outline for what we're going to talk about necessarily. So I do. It is going to be kind of interesting because I think most of it's going to be more comedy leaning, especially that very hilarious comedy Richard Jewell.
Oh my God!
So
I was rolling.
Yes,
let me tell you.
I do want to get this out of the way. I assume that you did finish watching it.
I did, yeah.
I want to do my impression of the way that they say Centennial Park in it.
Okay.
Centennial Pork.
You nailed it.
Do it a little bit better.
That
Centennial Pork.
I love that montage where he's saying that over and over again into the phone. There is a bomb in Centennial Pork. You have 30 minutes.
Oh, just a howler of a laugh.
Pork. Okay, well, since we're talking about it, do we want to hit Richard Jewell first?
Yeah, let's hit Richard Jewell.
Okay.
Let's condone violence, Kyrsten.
Well, he's dead, so...
He is. And so Richard Jewell, directed by Clint Eastwood, came out last year as Paul Walter Hauser and Sam Rockwell and Olivia Wilde and other people. How'd you feel about Richard Jewell? Oh, Kathy Bates is also in it.
Yeah, Kathy Bates was in it.
Oh, yeah. So how'd you feel about it, and how much did you know about it beforehand in terms of...
I did not know much about this. Even at some point, like before it came out, before like all this happened, you were like, "Oh, we should see Richard Jewell," and I was like, "Who the fuck is Richard Jewell?" And you were like, "That's really funny," because the tagline for the movie is, "You will remember his name."
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The world will know his name.
Yeah. I had like peripheral knowledge that this had happened, but I didn't know any of the details.
Yeah.
But big fan of Paul Walter Hauser.
Me too.
He's our guy.
He is. We see him in everything. He was in an episode of Community. He was. And like he was in I, Tonya.
Mm-hmm. And he was in Black Klansman.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's great. Do you follow him on Twitter?
No, I don't.
Oh, he's a good tweeter.
Is he? Maybe I'll check him out.
Yeah.
But he's like suddenly kind of exploding on the scene, and love that guy. So I wanted to see it because of him, and also Clint Eastwood. So didn't get a chance to see it in theaters, but I rented it and watched it last night. It was good overall. I really liked it. Good pacing. Really great acting.
Yeah.
What was up with Olivia Wilde?
I am very excited to talk to you about this because there's like controversy. Are you aware of the controversy surrounding it?
No.
So
I don't know. I didn't know anything about this movie going into it.
First of all, her performance, it's like I've heard people say that it's like she's in a completely different movie. Like
that's how it felt.
It's so weird. It was
so over the top, yes. And I don't know if Kathy Scruggs, the woman that she was portraying, I don't know how similar the character was to her. But it just seemed unnecessary. She was like unnecessarily vulgar and inconsiderate, and she slept with Agent John Hamm
that's where the
to get the story. Like
that's the thing. Like that's not confirmed at all. And what's really
is Kathy Scruggs alive?
No. So So she's not around to corroborate exactly, and like there was
the portrayal.
There was a lot of controversy surrounding that because it's like, okay, well, you're dragging the name of a journalist through the mud without having any no way that she can like defend herself.
It seemed real. It seemed really weird.
Yeah, Oh, yeah.
And there was so much about her character, like, she's a smoker.
Right.
She has a pack of cigarettes, but she doesn't carry a lighter.
Right.
Okay, also, she's a reporter, and she admits that she's a terrible writer.
Right.
Okay.
I forgot about that. Yeah. It's just, that was really messy. I didn't.
Yeah, like she was on the scene of the bombing.
Right.
And she's praying with her co-writer, co-journalist, and she's like, please let us catch this guy before anyone else. Like, it's so callous.
Yeah.
It's unnecessarily callous.
Exactly.
It was so weird. It felt really disingenuous.
Yeah, it's really way too antagonistic and way too much of
like they were trying to make her like so cool, such a cool girl that she's cooler than all the guys.
Right.
But it just came out like really over the top and unnecessary.
Yeah, and completely disingenuous and everything. It was really messy. So that subplot I didn't care for that at all. Like that.
And then when Bobby Jewell, when Richard's mother is giving her address to the press toward the end, she's in the back and she's crying. I was like, come on, shut up.
Ugh.
Cry me a freaking river, Kathy Scruggs.
Exactly. The fictionalized.
But I feel bad because I feel like that there's no way that could have been a very accurate portrayal of this woman.
I totally agree, and it just feels like it feels so much like a kind of movie convention. Like it just feels like, okay, we need this villain person, and also.
But they turned it up to like 300%.
Exactly, and like I don't know, it kind of also feels like Clint Eastwood is like, okay, well, we need to make the press the villains here. We need to make the press just disgusting evil.
Really, the villain was John Hamm.
Yeah.
Who leaked the information like super easily.
Right. Agent John Hamm.
Agent John Hamm.
Oh, yeah.
Who, like, literally was just, she was like, tell me. And he's like, no. And she's like, tell me. And he's like, okay.
Right.
And that's it.
That I didn't care for. Like, the movie overall, I thought was okay. I haven't watched it since I watched it back in, like, December. I thought it was okay. Definitely better than Clint Eastwood's previous movie, The Mule.
I didn't see that, but heard it was not great.
Well, for a movie that has a 90-year-old man who also directed the movie, in no short of 3 female-male threesomes.
Oh boy!
It's a little weird, but no, it was that movie was fine. But Richard Jewell, I thought
that movie was fine.
But Richard Jewell was okay. I really liked Paul Walter Hauser and Sam Rockwell's performance.
Paul Walter Hauser's performance was really, really great.
It was
in this.
Oh yeah,
he really showed a lot of depth that we haven't, because he is a particular type. He plays like the kind of bumbling, kind of stupid, like sidekick character,
right? And someone who is you're talking about in his previous roles.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And this was a very different portrayal for him. He had really unique depth and character development. I love how, like, the FBI, like, they kind of think he's kind of a dummy, and they're trying to trick him, trying to walk him into waiving his rights and everything, but he's sharp. Like, he knows penal code. He is a former cop. He's kind of like, on the surface, he seems like kind of a dumb kind of airy guy, but he knows, he won't sign that paper. He's like, this is a real form. And they're like, oh, it's for the training video. And he's like, I think I need my attorney. Like, he's not a dumb guy. No. And they're trying to pull the wool over his eyes, and he is not having it.
Yeah. And one of the things I like about the portrayal also is that he's not only is he like conscious of like all of that stuff, but he's also the type of person who he romanticizes authority. And I really like that, because like I've met people like that who are just like, they're like, he's not.
You come from a family of cops.
I do, and in that.
And you are a guy who has a podcast.
I'm
sure that your family is very proud of you.
They are. I'm living the dream. But
right.
But no, I've met those people who are like, they're not necessarily like, he wasn't a police. He was a security guard. Yeah. He was a former.
Yeah, he had been a police officer.
But I've met people who are that type of person who isn't currently like an authority figure, but they romanticize the idea of being a cop. And yeah, like there was a guy that I worked with when I was a security guard, not to name names or anything, but like he was like that. And there was I remember like he had like his car was like a Crown Vic. And he had, like, a light bar, like a police light bar, like, inside.
Is it who I'm thinking of?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's not a protein shake?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No. Oh, that job had a lot of people. But no, he, I had heard somewhere that he had told one of the other security guards. I was a security guard at the time, and he was too. He told one of the other security guards, like, yeah, sometimes I'll, like, pull people over if they're driving too fast or something like that.
You can't do that.
No, and, like, I saw a news article, recently that was, like, person arrested for impersonating cop. It wasn't him, but, like, I, like, clicked it specifically because I was like...
yeah, because you wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that Richard Jewell had been doing that. That's not great, but I really think his heart was in the right place based on the portrayal in the movie. I mean, he seemed like a genuinely good guy.
Yeah.
And I just feel so bad for this guy whose life was completely, upended.
Yeah.
Because he was doing his job,
right? And
he saved lives, and I really like that concept that someone was in the right place at the right time, and they happened to fit the profile of the person who would have done this, but they didn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
It is very interesting, and I love like you said, the depiction of him as a character in the movie just felt so just authentic and very much like...
earnest, just very earnest.
Like, it's a character, like it's an archetype that you could be like, okay, well, he's a clown, he's an idiot. But they do a really good job of showing the humanity within him. Sam Rockwell was really great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That scene at the end between them, I thought was really a nice button on the movie.
Yeah. Kathy Bates was great as Mama.
Yep. Yeah. She was nominated for an Academy Award for...
Oh, was she?
Yeah, and, like... It was exciting because Adam Sandler was in Uncut Gems, and there was a lot of Oscar buzz for him. And they were saying before the nominations came out, like this could be like a Big Daddy, or not Big Daddy, but a Waterboy reunion or whatever.
Oh yeah.
If they're both nominated and both win, but she didn't win and he wasn't nominated. But yeah.
So not that at all.
No, not at all. But yeah. What made you interested in watching Richard Jewell, and how did you rent it? Did you rent it on Amazon?
Amazon. I had some Amazon digital points or something, so I was like, I need to use these before they expire. So I was kind of flipping through what I could use them for, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just rent a movie and watch something. So I was going through, and I was like, oh, Richard Jewell. I had wanted to see it when it came out, and I think it was right after I spotted Paul Walter Hauser in the episode of Community.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me watch my boy in his movie. I'm glad I rented it. I thought it was really good.
Nice. Awesome.
Still don't know what was up with Olivia Wilde. No. Chill, honey. Chill.
Oh, yeah. She was a caricature.
Yeah.
Would it have made your top 10 list of last year?
No, I don't think it would have made top 10.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
I still have it for 48 hours, so I might watch it again before...
Interesting.
It expires, just because I was drinking when I watched it last night. So I was eating my onion chicken and drinking.
Nice,
so.
Nice. I did. I drank water last night and watched Bavarian.
Delicious. You're hydrated.
I was really excited because I got a Brita pitcher.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have one of those.
Nice. It's so good. I'm so excited.
The water tastes crisp.
Yes. And like the tap water here in Speedway sucks. So
Ugh.
it's so nice.
Does it taste like metal?
It does. Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that.
Oh yeah. Yep. So yeah.
It's like pennies. Ugh.
Yes. Ugh. Ugh.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So that's Richard Jewell.
So yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Nice. Are there any other movies that you saw when you were scrolling through that you think you might check out?
Oh, I'll probably watch Onward at some point.
Oh, nice.
I almost rented Onward, but I know it's on Disney Plus, so I can just watch it there.
Yes. I was just going to ask if you have Disney Plus or if you have...
I don't, but my sister does, and she has my Netflix, so I have her Disney Plus.
Nice. Yeah, if you do, we should do an episode about it.
Sure, yeah.
If you want to. I don't know.
Yeah,
like this,
I mean, no pressure.
This is the perfect time to make, like, the joke that, like, okay, well, if you want to do an episode, you can do an episode, because I know you don't have anything going on, but I understand that it is, like, it's hard. Yeah, having to talk to me. Having to talk to you.
It is. That's why I'm drinking.
Yes.
People think I'm an alcoholic now, probably, because I've talked, this is, like, the third or fourth time I've talked about drinking.
I do.
And I'm drinking, it is 5:44.
It is 5:44.
And I'm drinking.
I'm drinking too. I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner. I have spaghetti.
I'm gonna make my fish.
Nice. Yeah, so...
Fry up some fish. Have a fish fry.
Yeah, that is great. I'm so glad that I'm not allowed to leave.
It's tasty, okay?
Okay.
I'm a decent cook.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay, you're trying to trick me into making dinner for you, and I'm not going to fall for it.
You know what I made like a week or so ago? I made French toast grilled cheese. It was actually...
I would eat that.
It was pretty good.
I would eat that.
With a big glass of milk.
You ought to, if you have a waffle maker, you ought to make grilled cheese with a waffle, because the cheese will melt into the little waffle divots.
I don't have a waffle maker, though.
Oh, I have a waffle maker.
Well, okay, wow. Now she's double flipping me off. Wow. I hope your waffle maker breaks.
Why would you?
Because I only lash out because I want a waffle maker. And
Matt, you can buy one.
I can't.
On Amazon, and they'll bring it to your house.
That's true. I might actually do that, because I don't remember if we recorded this, but I got a new coffee maker, and I'm super excited about it.
I mean, we recorded it because you've been recording the entire time we've been talking.
I don't know if it'll be in the episode, because we talked about work.
You have the power to put anything you want in the episode.
I am all-powerful. Yeah.
Okay, neckbeard.
Hey!
So
Quarantine beard that is hopefully going to grow into something real.
Something real?
Something real.
I'm a real beard.
I'm a real beard. Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm bringing it back.
Oh, God.
All right, shall we move on?
We shall move on. So what do you want to talk about next?
Well, we watched Middleditch
and Schwartz. I have watched it now 2.5 times.
I'm definitely going to watch it again.
It's...
Oh my god, it was so funny.
Yes. So for our listeners, Middleditch and Schwartz is 3 episodes of 3 comedy specials with Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz. Thomas Middleditch from Silicon Valley and Ben Schwartz from Parks and Recreation. It is a completely improvised show that they do, and they have 3 episodes on Netflix. And my god, I hope that they do more. Like, when everything settles and everything, because I know that they do, like, they tour it and everything. They've been doing it for a while, but man, to actually see it, because like I'm a fan of theirs from their work, and also I'm an avid listener of Comedy Bang Bang.
What's his name? Ackerman.
Scott Ackerman.
Ackerman, yeah.
Comedy Bang Bang, and they are on it a lot, and man, I loved it. So I pressured you into watching it, and yeah. As a live performer yourself, how did you feel about it?
Okay. Improv is something that I don't think I could ever do. I think I'm pretty funny, and I have good comedic timing.
Yes,
but the pressure that comes with improv is so overwhelming.
Yep.
I mean, just having it way over your head that you could say the wrong thing or blank and not come up with anything to say, you know, or say something that you think is going to kill and the audience doesn't react at all. Like, that's a lot. Yes. And I don't think I could put myself in that position. I think it takes a very brave person to do something like that, and that they did it for an hour at a time.
I can't understand it. I can't. Like improv itself is just, it's terrifying to me.
But that long form style that they did,
and like having to keep everything straight, I love
which they didn't, admittedly. Like the names changed, Danny turned into Dave, and the whole thing was trying to figure out who was Saucin and who was Kyle and what they wanted to do. That was hilarious.
That was brilliant.
That was so funny. I think Thomas Middleditch had like 3 existential crises in that one episode.
Oh, yes.
There was the one, the rock, paper, scissors, where Ben Schwartz was like getting into his head.
That was so perfect.
There was that. There was, when he was doing the Thomas the Third, or Timothy the Third, and he had to, like, in character, but he was like, I need to change this character. I feel like it's too real and it's scaring me. Can we give him something to differentiate him?
He has a cat farm.
And he owns a cat farm. And then they repeatedly brought that up. So that was great. And then at the end, when he couldn't figure out who he was
freaking, like, when he kind of goes, like, downstage or upstage.
Yeah, he had to walk away.
And he's like, I can't believe we forgot this, or I can't believe how did we lose this?
Remember when Nigel disappeared and then showed up? He's like, wait, I'm here, Nigel.
Just time out for a second. I'm here, and I know exactly what he wants.
Oh my god!
Genius at play. That is just so
it's very funny the way that they keep it fluid. They just switch places, so they're, you know, one person is not designated as this character, and they play this character throughout. They switch as needed,
right?
Which it is so funny,
and it has to make it just so much harder too. Like,
I bet, yeah. I mean, that would make it harder to keep the characters straight, because if you played both Saucin and Kyle, and you have had both of those different motivations, and then suddenly you're one character who is inside the other character's body, that would be so... I was trying to figure out with them who was who, and I couldn't do it.
I've seen that part of it twice, and I still... But
Ben Schwartz seemed like he had it together. He was like, no. I like when they said, on the count of 3, let's both say who we are, and they got it. At least they both said different names.
Right.
So.
Oh, yeah. But, like, in just the evolution of the story in each episode, like, it just goes to some just crazy places. And, like...
The way they tie it all together, like, the ghost shows up, and he's like, I'm a ghost. He's like, okay, we'll figure out who you are later. And then the ghost is the officiator at the wedding, you know? And then it turns out the ghost was also the robber. And the ghost went to heaven at the end, even though he was a bad guy.
Right.
Like, they managed to, for the most part, keep, like, a through line.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I can't understand how that is possible.
It's gotta be so hard, but they make it seem completely effortless.
Oh, yeah. And I really hope that Netflix, like, orders more of this.
Yeah, I hope they pick it up as, like, a series.
Me too.
That'd be great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
There was a moment where, like, the first time I was watching it, I posted on, like, Snapchat and stuff, and I tried to send you a video, but I always forget that when I send you a video through text, it always bounces back. So I was going
send it to me on Facebook Messenger.
I know, but I'm going to send it to you now. But and I'm going to splice it into here because it's just me laughing. But there was a moment where it was in the 3rd episode, and they were like, Ben Schwartz was as the kid, and then he's like, I love college and everything. It's like fraternities.
Yeah, we as photography students are definitely in a fraternity.
So great. Yeah. And then, like, Just
magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, magic.
Oh, so
I love Sebastian, who was the brother at the wedding. He was like, yo, I'm Sebastian. And he's like, yo, you're 2 months sober. Yeah, it makes it even darker that I was going to drink champagne out of a microphone.
That was so perfect.
It's just, they're both so witty and so quick.
It's so...
And, like, incredibly creative.
Oh, absolutely. And, like...
It was crazy how hard I was laughing.
Me too.
By myself. It was so fun.
Yeah, as evidenced by the video that I just showed you.
Matt Hurd just sent me a video. Hold on, I gotta watch this.
Okay, and I'm gonna splice it here into this, because it's just...
Shut up, I'm trying to watch something.
Okay.
Okay, thoughts and notes. You sound like, have you ever heard, like, a fox?
A fox?
Yeah. They don't sound like what you would expect they sound like.
I do consider myself to be a fox. Thank you, yeah.
I'm not saying you're foxy.
No, it's implied, yeah. Yes, please.
Have you ever heard, like, what a fox sounds like?
No. I just know the song. What does a fox say?
Ding 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 ding.
Copyright. So yeah.
I don't think Ylvis is gonna come after us.
Right.
That's who's saying, what does the fox say?
I just thought you were speaking gibberish.
Yeah, the foxes, like, you think you know how something's gonna sound, and then you hear it. You know? Listen to, like, fox noises. They sound like they make that noise that you made when you were laughing.
Okay. I am foxy. So...
I just said you weren't.
Middleditch Schwartz. So there was 3 episodes. There's Parking Lot Wedding, Law School Magic, and Dream Job. In terms of concept and, like, setup, which was your favorite?
I think Parking Lot Wedding. It was, I don't know, I just love how everything came together so neatly in that episode.
Perfect.
Also, like, the parents of the bride and groom sitting on one side, and they didn't realize until after they established that the bride and groom families usually sit on opposite sides, and they're like, then who's over here? It's all the people from the parking lot. They're in the music festivals.
Brilliant. Like,
so funny.
Like that, like little bits like that where it ties together so quickly is just so brilliant.
The first joke that made me laugh out loud was when Thomas Middleditch was adjusting his tie, and then he adjusted his bow tie, and he kind of frowned at himself, and he looked back at Ben Schwartz, and he said, I'm wearing a tie and a bow tie.
Oh, yeah. I was so happy because you texted that to me, and I was like, yes, she's watching it. Yes.
So it was. I'm definitely going to watch it again within the next few days.
Oh, yeah.
It was very funny.
So good. So good. That's Middleditch Schwartz.
Yeah, check it out, guys. I mean, it's just 3-hour-long episodes, so it's not like a big time commitment.
Right.
Definitely worth your time.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time, and that also reminds me that. Have you ever seen I Think You Should Leave on Netflix? Have I talked to you about that?
Oh, well, if that's how you feel, Matt.
Yes.
Let me just. Yes. No, I haven't.
It is.
What is that?
So it is a sketch comedy show with like 15-minute episodes. There's only like 6 of them, so it's very quick. It's on Netflix. It's from Tim Robinson, who you may have seen something that went viral where there were protesters talking about how they can't go shopping.
Oh, yeah.
And
I did see that.
Yeah. He added to it, this is when I start buying Halloween stuff. How am I supposed to buy Halloween stuff? But he has a sketch show on Netflix.
All right, I'm sold. I'll watch it.
And it is hysterical. Like, it is, like I said, it's only like 15-minute episodes.
It's called I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah, it's kind of has that, like, kind of Adult Swim, kind of surreal comedy kind of humor thing. There's one, like, unfortunately it's not on YouTube, but there's one sketch that has Patty Harrison. She is in an office setting, and she is like her coworkers say like, "Oh yeah, the new copier is in," and then one of the coworkers says like, "Yeah, I guess Christmas came early," and then Patty Harrison's character just picks up on that and keeps hitting the Christmas thing and tries to make jokes, and it's like it is next level funny. Like I will sit there and think like I'll just
I already said I would watch it.
Yeah,
so
I'm just trying to sell the listeners on it. But yeah, so anyway, it's really funny. Yeah. So, I watched a couple of things that I think will be exciting for us to talk about, because I know that you've watched both of them, and then we can talk about Community after. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. Mike Birbiglia is the new one.
I've been telling you to watch that. Oh my god.
Yes.
Everything he does is just magic.
It is. Oh yeah.
Everything he does is Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes. That special was just so great. Like so
I need to rewatch that. It was really good.
Yeah, the way that he ties in the I love his approach to stand-up comedy because it's storytelling.
Yeah.
Like he does it so perfectly every time, and like this particular special was just really great. Like
I love how it started with he was shopping for a couch, because when it came out, I watched it like either the day it came out or like the day after, and I was shopping for a couch, and I was like, oh my god, this is so relatable. And then he was like, and kids are the worst, and I was like, yes, it gets even more relatable. And then he was like, and I had a kid, and I was like, ugh, boo.
Right. I went through the exact same thing. Yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I need to buy a couch that I haven't.
You do need to buy a couch. You just got that stimulus money, right?
Yes, I did.
Buy a couch. American made.
You need to.
Stimulate the economy.
Well, you know.
And your butt.
That's for the other.
That's where the rest of the money went.
Yeah, that's for the secret Patreon feed I have. Anyway, so God, but yeah, the new one was great.
Yeah.
Just I love his candor in his stand-up. Like he is so like genuine with his comedy and everything, and like yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, and you know it tied together well. Yes.
Where do you think it ranks for you amongst Birbig's stand-up?
That is tough. I will say that the kind of gold standard for me in terms of Mike Birbiglia specials and albums and everything is My Girlfriend's Boyfriend.
I agree.
Yes, I think that is almost like transcendent. Like it is, it's great. I would say maybe the new one is one or two below that. I want to say maybe Thank God for Jokes is above it, but also that's the one that we saw live. And like, that has like,
that's a completely different experience.
Exactly.
Seeing a comedian live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say it's probably number 2 and number 3. How about you?
Yeah. I would maybe put the new one at number 2 because of how poignant it also was.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. I listened to it when I was at work, and Tracy, this woman on my team, she kept hearing me laugh, and she was like, "What are you listening to over there?" And I was like, "He's talking about a couch. You don't understand." It's the whole thing was about the couch.
I thought you were going to say he's talking about masturbating into a cup.
Well, that was there too, but
that was. Yeah.
So I would maybe put the new one at number 2.
Nice. Great. Yeah, that is available on Netflix. Mike Birbiglia is the new one. So great. He's awesome. The other thing that I saw was John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch.
Oh my god, yes. I loved it.
Me too. Like,
oh my god.
As much as I love him as a stand-up and everything, I thought this was such a unique departure and everything. It was really good.
Mandy Patinkin.
Like
That was so funny to me.
yeah, like I was watching it and I was thinking like it's gonna be really cool in like 10 or 15 years, like when like the kids that are in this are gonna be like some of them are gonna be like big stars or something.
Yeah.
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 Really
I mean, God, they were so good. And the guest stars that he had, Richard Kind, Jake Gyllenhaal was so funny.
Yeah.
David Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So good.
Did you have like a favorite number?
That's a good question. I want to say that maybe the last one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
That one was very fun.
That one was really good.
Yeah.
What was he called? Mr. I can't remember. Yeah.
I've got it up on. Pull it up on IMDb.
Okay. Dead Air.
Huh?
No, I just said Dead Air.
Oh. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Mr. Music. He was Mr. Music.
That's right. Yeah, because the whole concept was he can make music anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
He kept failing.
Yeah, he was not good. He was doing stuff that was really quiet. Like, you can make music dropping this feather. Now listen.
Oh,
I think I liked the song, the tutor song,
yeah,
where the tutor came in. That one was fun.
with the eye patch.
Yeah, for no reason.
Really
But he kept like beginning to explain why he had an eye patch and would never go into it.
Oh yeah. Oh.
But God, the kids were so talented.
So talented. Like the one with the macaroni and butter song. I was like,
yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah. I loved the kid who sang about Grandma's got a boyfriend and his name is Paul.
That was great. That was really great.
Do flowers exist at night? What the hell? What a great
so
like
good.
mix of I don't know, just genres and music styles that came together in a really fulfilling and satisfying way.
Absolutely.
And it was like still like, John Mulaney, why did you do this? You know?
Yeah. And like he says at the beginning, like, I'm doing that. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't have kids. I don't want kids. I'm like, wow, that is awesome.
It was really, really great. I loved the what do they call it? Confessionals with the kids?
Yeah, like
what do they call those? Huh?
Talking heads? Talking heads?
Yeah, the talking head sessions that they did with the kids. Like, what are you afraid of? You know, and
home invasions.
Yeah. It got real.
Right. Are you afraid of that because of like your parents? It's like, yeah, my mom is afraid of home invasions. I'm afraid of home invasions, or whatever she said. Really good.
That was it was just really entertaining.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to him doing another live special at some point too, because he's so good. Yeah. So you have also watched many episodes of the NBC sitcom, NBC and then Yahoo Screen sitcom Community.
Yeah, I'm watching Community for the first time.
Nice.
Wow, how great is this show?
It's so great. Like, I'll go into a little spiel. It's premiered in 2009. And I was really interested in it because... Wow,
I would have been a freshman in college. Like, it would have been perfect for me to watch it then.
Well, that's the thing. That year, the year that it premiered, I was, like, doing my, like, 2 or 3 semesters at Ivy Tech, a community college. And, like, I was like, oh, okay, this is, like, right for me. And then, like, I was watching it, and I was like, I can kind of relate to some of this stuff. But I love that show. Like, I watched it every week, and... I got into the habit of buying each individual episode on PlayStation. So like,
oh boy,
and like the HD versions. So like, I bought the entire first season like week to week, even though I had it on like DVR and everything. But like, I did the math, and like each episode was like $3, and it's 25 episodes.
Jeez, Matt.
Yeah, it's like that's
they are long seasons.
Yeah, But yeah, I adore it. It's such a great show. So how are you liking it, and what's your impression been of the first season?
I love it. Such interesting characters. And like they've got a great mix of classic, typical sitcom situations and like really weird, absurd stuff, and then classical sitcom situations that are handled in an absurd manner.
Right. So brilliant.
Who was your favorite character?
Oh, well, that's it's tough because it's a very strong ensemble.
It is.
Yeah, and then Chevy Chase, but I would say I really liked Abed. Mostly
Troy and Abed are my favorite. I mean, them together.
Oh yeah.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
Yeah.
I love the reveal that the show is not for anyone. Right. It's I love that they do weird, fun stuff for themselves, like the first Christmas special episode.
Oh yeah.
I love how almost all of the little asides at the end are Troy and Abed just goofing around, and Abed is decorating Troy like a Christmas tree, and he's singing, "Oh, Christmas Troy, oh, Christmas Troy," and Jeff walks in and he's like, "Why do you two do this stuff?" Because it's fun. And they hard cut to Jeff also decorating Troy.
Yep. The snow smells
just it's wholesome.
It's so good. And like Abed, I appreciated in the early days.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Because I could relate to him because he relates everything to movies and TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I could relate to Jeff because I'm Foxy, as established. And yeah. And I really like Annie because I
love Annie. She's so fun.
She is, and I developed a very hard crush on Alison Brie as a result of that show.
Why wouldn't you? The one episode where she like let her hair down and was all sexy.
Yep.
Okay.
I was watching like.
I love that the monkey's name is Annie's Boo.
So great. And I love that the first episode of the second semester after the Christmas one was like Jack Black sexualizing
yeah.
Like, she's pretty young. We try not to sexualize her. But
even though Jeff had made out with her in the previous episode.
Yes,
right?
in the debate one, because the last episode of the season wasn't. This was the first episode after the Christmas break.
Oh, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Not a fan of Britta.
Yeah, she is.
She gives off very strong, I'm not like other girls, I'm different vibes, which I'm totally not on board with.
Right.
Like, what's wrong with other girls? Yeah. Other girls are great. Mm-hmm. I love them. You know?
Me too.
She's annoying.
Yeah, and they definitely, as the series goes on, they play into that pretty well. Yeah.
Love me some Senor Ben Chang.
Yeah.
Now you're talking my Changwich. I love how he turns his name into words for no reason.
I love the
and like, what's wrong with him?
It's so he's the wild card character.
He wants to infiltrate the group,
right?
But he also like. There's something wrong with him.
How far are you in?
But also, he might be Shirley's baby's father.
Right.
So I watched Troy's birthday episode.
Oh my god! Can we talk about that episode?
That might be the last episode that I watched. Okay. What a great episode!
Oh, totally. The episode after that is the stop motion claymation episode.
Oh, okay. I definitely watched that one. Okay. That's a great one too.
Troy's birthday episode, like I rewatched it because after texting with you about it, I decided to rewatch the show as well, and my god, like that episode alone, like feels so just perfect in a very non-community way. Every
now and then you come across an episodic show like this that they have an episode that is completely self-contained, and it feels like it could be a short movie by itself.
Right. And it is so, like, it's an interesting piece of writing, in my opinion, because it is exploring these characters in a different setting and actually getting into a deeper level with the characters.
Yeah. Like, Annie's whole, she's pretending to be this other person, and she can finally let loose and be who she wants to be. Mm-hmm. And also, Pierce is stuck in a doorway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's got that going.
Right. Abed is having like he's grappling with like human interaction and misreading things. And like I love Troy's arc because I tweeted this, like he starts it out as like this wide-eyed like kid who's like going into adulthood, and then he's realizing throughout the episode that, like he says at the end of the episode, it's like, I'm realizing that you guys are just as dumb as I am.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like
it's so true, by the way.
Exactly. Like that realization is such like a universal thing. Like it's just, and it's done so well. And we see like backstory of Shirley and everything. Just I love it. And like the social dynamics of that, like them laughing about her stuff in the past and playing it off, like just feels so genuine and real. I love it so much. Yeah.
They did a whole episode that was claymation.
Despite its...
when it started, I thought it was just going to be the opening, you know. But then it was the central plot that there was something wrong with Abed, and he was seeing the world in claymation.
Yep.
And they had to find the meaning of Christmas.
Yep. Oh, I love it.
Oh, my God. That was a fun episode.
Oh, yeah. And the... I do not appreciate the way that it ragged on Lost. Toward the end.
They really did.
Yeah. So, you know.
I think my favorite episode so far had to be the Halloween zombie episode.
Oh, nice. I'm so glad you said that because that's one of my favorites as well. Like,
that's a great episode.
Oh, yeah.
From Troy and Abed having a group costume, being Alien and Ripley, to just the whole, like, concept that the dean has accidentally purchased
like
army, like experimental army meat. I don't know,
like a bioweapon.
And it's infecting everyone. And I love the scene where they lock themselves in the study room, and they're like, "You got to let us know now if you've been bit," you know. And no one says anything, and then you find out that what's the guy's name? Rich has been bit, but he's concealing it, and it's like, oh, you know, there's always one person who conceals that they've been bitten, but then also Britta.
So great. What I love about
and then Troy has to save the day by going back and do it. He has to stop being sexy Dracula and go back into his Ripley costume, and then it's like a hard jump cut, and he's like being overrun by zombies. He's like, why did I think this would work?
This is a bad idea. He's bitten, like he's bitten like 4 times. He's like, I'm already bit. You already got me.
Yeah, you did the thing you're supposed to do as a zombie. Okay.
I love.
He's so sweet. He's like, Abed, I'm your friend, and then Britta's like, ah.
Yeah. And
then Jeff, still cool as a zombie, and he's like,
What I love about that is that when they do those like high concept episodes like that, they still do like cool character moments. Like that episode has such a running thing of Troy and Abed's relationship and how like he doesn't want to be a nerd and everything. It's just like they don't need that, but they include it. It's really good. Couple things about that episode. One is that, unless I'm mistaken, it aired and this is a funny like coincidence, but it aired the same night that The Office aired their Halloween episode where, what is the guy's name? Gabe dressed up as Lady Gaga.
The dean was Lady Gaga. That's so funny.
Two
they were both Lady Gaga.
NBC sitcoms had Lady Gaga.
I love how he met the army outside the building, and he was still full on dressed like Lady Gaga. Like Dean Pelton, there was no need for that.
He is
Dana Lang.
Oh god, I love that show. But another interesting thing another thing I love about that episode is that like I love zombie movies and everything, and it plays like it pays homage to zombie movies really well. But like there are certain like zombie the Queen song that plays at the end of Shaun of the Dead, like I associate that with zombies now. Because it's such a big part, but like,
and now ABBA.
Every ABBA song is a zombie like soundtrack, and it's so great. I love that episode. When you said that your favorite episode so far was that. Also, by the way, George Takei Like his...
Yeah,
that was great.
And then, oh my god, oh wait, I think maybe the most recent, the last episode I watched was one where Pierce was in the hospital, because LeVar Burton was in that episode.
Oh, okay, yeah, I haven't gotten to that one yet, but yeah, oh yeah. I was really thinking you were going to say Modern Warfare, the paintball episode.
That was a good one. These are kind of very similar in that aspect, but the zombie one I just thought was... I love Troy, and he had really great personal character development in that episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just thought it was funnier.
Okay, sure.
But the paintball episodes were great too.
I honestly think it's one of like the top 5 best episodes I've ever seen of anything. It's so good. Yeah. Oh God, it's perfect. Yeah.
Do you like it more than the zombie episode?
I think a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are so much good stuff that's to come in your watching that I'm excited.
I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait for season 4.
Oh, don't talk about season 4.
I'm gonna text you.
God, please still be under quarantine. And like it's actually said that COVID-19 spreads through phones, so you can't text me or anything. So, yeah.
I'm gonna. Okay, so who's like your favorite? Do you have like a favorite recurring like joke or recurring character?
That's okay. So I don't know if Dean Pelton really qualifies for this because he becomes part of the main cast essentially. He's in almost every episode, but the Dean is amazing. There in season 1, the Seize the Day professor.
Yeah.
That whole arc was really funny. Honestly, like every episode of season 1 specifically is just like knocks it out of the park.
You know, this is one of the few shows that really it doesn't have like a lot of times when you're talking to someone about a TV show, you're like, give it a season to find its footing. But all the characters are really clearly defined, and it's already in its momentum.
Yes.
In the first season, I feel like.
Oh, 100%. Even when they kind of make that, I don't know if I would say make that transition, but they go more into pop culture and they do like those high concept episodes. I think I would say maybe like the first one was the Chicken Fingers episode that they made as a mafia movie. Like even that just felt so organic and like just natural for the show, like a natural progression. Yeah. It's so good. And the writing is so sharp. The thing that I'm like more conscious of now as I'm watching it again is that it does something that I can think of 2 other shows doing really well. And I know that there's more, but like in terms of like creating a comedy ensemble and everything, what I love about it is the same thing I love about like The Simpsons and Parks and Rec, in that it creates this world. Like Greendale Community College is as like versatile in terms of comedy as like Springfield is in The Simpsons or Pawnee is in Parks and Rec. It's like it creates this like sandbox or this playground for the writing to really go to just completely absurd places and like it's realistic. It's so I love that about it. So yeah. What's your favorite thing about Greendale Community College?
I think I would have to say that their school flag is a butthole. Yes. E pluribus anus.
So great. That, oh God. That was great. That, the human being mascot.
The Greendale human being, and he's just a gray, amorphous blob with no discernible features.
Also, side characters, I like Vaughn.
I love Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny nipples.
Nipples. I love the line where Jeff is like, I don't understand. He never wears shoes. He never wears...
he never wears shirts. How hasn't he died of lack of service?
So so great. Yeah, it's really great. I'm really happy that you're watching it.
Yeah, I love John Oliver as the Ian.
Yeah, Ian Duncan.
He's great.
Yeah.
Starburns.
Mm-hmm. Who is also
Magnitude. Pop Pop.
Oh yes, I haven't gotten to him yet. He must be like I don't remember where he starts, but yeah, Pop Pop was huge.
Pop Pop. I wish that I can't believe Betty White was only in one episode. I was hoping she was going to be their teacher.
Right.
I was so excited when she popped up as our anthropology teacher, and then she had to choke Jeff and get fired.
Yep. I love that stinger at the end of like the second episode where she's like at some village.
She's with an indigenous tribe.
Yeah, and they're talking about Inception.
Yeah. It's so bizarre.
It's so weird. But the show.
But it's like stuff like that like who thought of this?
Right. Oh yeah. And like part of like I have such a weird kind of an opinion about Dan Harmon, who created the show.
Okay.
Like the kind of genesis of Community is that Dan Harmon like had that experience that he was in like a community, like back in the day he was at a community college, he took Spanish and he had a Spanish study group, and that inspired him to write the show. I just don't like him as a person.
Okay.
I've talked about
I don't know anything about about him.
Yeah,
so
well, he co-created Rick and Morty also.
Which I've never seen Rick and Morty, but their fans are shit.
Yeah, it's good, but
But I wouldn't blame him for that.
Right. But also like there's something about his humor in general. Like and I've noticed this a lot as I've been rewatching Community, is that there's a lot of like when it goes into juvenile territory and like goes into like just gibberish stuff, it feels like that's Dan Harmon. Like that is Dan Harmon to a T.
Kind of the more lowbrow kind of humor.
Yeah.
Like the easy laugh.
Yeah, like in season 1, the probably the one episode that I didn't like as much as the other ones was the one with the teenagers and the Schmitty.
Oh yeah.
That got way too annoying.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
Yeah.
Duh.
God, but he also got into hot water on Twitter like years ago that I hold a grudge about. But like he like just fucking destroyed this person that tweeted at him and was like saying that like, oh, you're nothing and everything, that like I've done things that.
Do you know who I am?
Pretty much, yeah. And like he was just I don't know. It's really I don't know, murky. But I do like his work. But
yeah. That's when you get into the whole argument, can you truly separate the art from the artist?
Right. And I think that's what's interesting is that the reason that season 4 doesn't work well is because he was fired from the show, and then they brought in new showrunners for season 4, and then he was hired back for season 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So spoiler alert. But it's a weird thing to kind of reconcile with that, but it works, and it works despite him, I would say, and it's great. So yeah. Anything else on Community?
I'm really enjoying it. The only reason I haven't watched it before now is because I didn't have access to it.
Right.
I'm not going to purchase a streaming service or a subscription to something to watch one show.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things. I had always wanted to watch it, but just I didn't have access to it. And we watched the D&D episode at your house.
I remember. I was
because it was right before I was filming that movie, the D&D.
That's right.
Murder movie.
Mm-hmm. Have you gotten to that yet? That episode?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Still just brilliant. Just that and the
I humped the sword.
Yeah. That and like the stop motion episode. Like I love this like imagination kind of thing. They do a really cool thing later. They may actually do it. Have you seen Remedial Chaos Theory yet? I don't know the names of the episodes. Okay, I'll skip that then. The one where have you seen the one where what's his name? Pierce keeps referencing Eartha Kitt.
No.
Okay, so that episode's great. But anyway, they do a lot more like imagination kind of stuff. Not really imagination stuff, but they do like a riff on certain things.
It feels kind of similar to Scrubs in that aspect, where they will do. They have moments or even whole episodes that aren't 100% grounded in reality.
Right.
Which I like.
What I thought about when the show started was that I was like, oh, this is going to be a good like comedy with some drama thrown in, like Scrubs was, and like it paid off really well. I liked it a lot more than Scrubs, to be honest. It's brilliant. I like it. Yeah. So that's Community. Anything else?
Oh, so I texted you and I asked you, but we'll go ahead and talk about it now. Are you Team Jitta or Team Janny? And now, okay, here is I do have one critique about the show, and it's that all of the hot young characters, they're kind of like they keep throwing them together, you know?
Yeah.
So like Jeff and Britta have had sex, and also Jeff and Annie have made out with each other.
Right.
And there was one episode where like Britta and Troy had a moment, and I'm like, oh, were they hinting at something, you know? So they and now Shirley and Senor Ben Chang have hooked up, you know, and it's like they keep throwing all the characters together.
Yeah.
And that's something that I could do without.
I can definitely understand that. So to answer your question, the actual answer that I gave you was I'm team not naming them that. But
then you said Team Janny.
I am Team Janny. And that's a weird kind of thing because during the show when it was airing and stuff and I was watching it live, like I didn't really like the pairing of Jeff and Annie. Like I didn't buy into that.
How old is Jeff supposed to be?
I looked
in the show.
I think because that one episode in the tag they were like they were imitating Jeff and they're like I think I'm so cool because I'm 40 or something, and then he's like, hey,
there's no way he's supposed to be 40.
Well, I looked it up at the time. I think he was 38.
Okay, the actor.
So I assume that like it would be the same.
Okay, because if he's actually supposed to be 40 and she's 18, that's gross.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
But I don't remember if they have explicitly said how old Jeff is.
They haven't.
I know that he's a little bit older than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Except for Pierce, of course.
Right. I would say probably 30. I would peg him at like 35 in the canon of the show, I think. Yeah.
Maybe I'm not Team Janny.
And that's one of the things that I kind of like. That's one of the reasons why I wasn't really that on board with it. But I think the distaste I had for Britta as a character kind of swayed me to more of a Jeff and Annie thing.
Yeah. They're probably my least favorite characters.
Jeff and Britta?
On the show. I mean, I don't dislike Jeff.
Right.
But I don't really like him.
Right.
Like I do Troy and Abed and Annie and Shirley and Chang.
How do you feel about Pierce?
Pierce is funny. I like his shenanigans. I don't like him as a person, obviously, because he's despicable.
Right.
But he's funny, and he gives him a villain a lot of the times.
Yeah, like the D&D episode. That's great. Like
yeah. Oh, that worked so well.
Oh yeah. I listened to Dax Shepard's podcast, Armchair Expert, and he had Alison Brie on like fairly recently. And first of all, like they were talking about her relationship with Dave Franco, who she's married to, and she goes through like the genesis of their relationship and everything. And like I was sitting there, I was like, I think I'm falling in love with Dave Franco because it's like it's the sweetest. It's so good. But she also talks a little bit about Community and about being in a position where you're young and you have to kind of like let things slide. Like she was saying, I don't think she explicitly said Chevy Chase, or maybe she did, but she was like, things that, he said, like, he would say inappropriate things and, like, racist things that aren't funny, but we kind of had to kind of brush it off and kind of pretend that it was okay. Yeah. And she was like...
So he was kind of Pierce Hawthorne in real life.
Pretty much, yeah. And, like, he's notorious.
Do you think he knew they were filming a TV show? Or was it just like, hey, Chevy Chase, show up, and they just, like, recorded what he said?
I would not put it past Chevy Chase.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but there was a lot of... there was some interesting tidbits in that. So I recommend that episode of that podcast after you listen to all of our podcasts.
I'll get right on that.
Good. Yeah, so anything else...
Wink. Wink.
Wink.
I'm going to wink so hard I'm going to wink at you with both my eyes. Wink.
And now she just fell asleep. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, anything else you've watched?
No.
Cool. Should we wrap it up, or is there anything more that...
I don't know. I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me, Kyrsten, for this special episode of the Obsessive...
A very special episode.
A very special
of Obsessive
episode.
Viewer.
Yes, this is the first...
Do-do-do.
This is not only the first episode that you've been on in 2020, but it is the first episode that I've had that is an entire episode-long thing since February.
An entire episode-long thing? I don't know what that means.
Shit. An entire episode with me and one other person.
Oh, like you don't have to splice it together with filler.
Yeah. God damn it, no.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Yes. No, it's been good. It's actually a full-length episode where you and I chatted, and it's good. Yeah. Any parting thoughts? Any parting COVID-19 thoughts?
Hey, guys, stay safe. Wear a mask when you go out. Don't be a dick and throw masks and gloves on the ground. Yes. Be nice to grocery store workers, to delivery workers, to hospital workers, to everyone who is keeping the country running right now. Be nice to those people. Tip extra for anything.
I've been making such an effort on that too, because I can't. Yeah, because I mean, we're fortunate enough the company we work for, we're able to still work full time,
and not everyone is in that position.
Exactly. Did I tell you, or I think I tweeted about it and posted it on Facebook, but there was a week where my neighbors did 3 things. One, they had a party.
My neighbors had people over last night.
Yeah, that's so weird. I don't get it, but then...
I mean, I get that you miss your friends. I miss my homies, too. I miss the homies. Yes. We have group video chats.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's what we do.
Right. And, I just don't get it. But a day or two after that, someone was cooking, and they did not properly ventilate their apartment. So
You told me about this.
So, I'm standing outside waiting for the fire department to come by and clear everything. There was no fire or anything, but the alarm. Did
you grab your cat?
I didn't. No, because I figured it wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fine. She's fine. She's a fighter. She
probably traumatized.
No, well maybe, but
I remember. I don't know if you remember this. Several years ago, my apartment caught on fire.
I do remember that.
I wasn't home. Mm-hmm. It was my apartment building was actually struck by lightning.
Right.
And the way that the buildings were set up, it was a bottom unit and a top unit, and we were on the bottom. The unit above ours was the one that was struck, and that one was completely a complete loss. Ours, we had a lot of water damage and smoke damage. Yeah. Very minimal fire damage. Mm. But we did have to move. Right. But I wasn't home. My roommate wasn't home either. But she got home while they were still putting out the fire, and we have cats inside, and they ran in, they got our cats, and when we were finally able to go back in, it was several days later. They had to make sure that the building was structurally safe before we could go inside. The beds were all like flipped and thrown around the room, and I realized it was because they were looking for the cats. They were probably hiding.
Oh yeah.
That they had to go in and like, you know, flip the beds up to get the cats.
Yeah, pizza was fine because I knew it wasn't anything. Like, I knew it was cooking because I could smell. I knew it was safe. But I did have this random thought the other day. As you know, Pizza has all of her toys, a majority of her toys, behind the couch that she hides them. And like, I was thinking about that because I didn't see her for a while, so I was checking behind the couch to see if she was there, and I saw like just a pile of crinkle toys that she has back there. And like, I realized like I've never seen her take a toy back there. And, like, I just imagine that, like, when I'm not here or when I'm at work or whatever in the old days, I just...
in the time before the sickness?
Time before. Before the apocalypse, I just imagined her, like, individually taking each one of the toys and just doing, like, that whole, like, meme thing where it's like, no one ever fucking helps me around here.
Ninja has a bunch of toys. Her favorite toys are just like little balls, and she bats those under like the couch and under the entertainment center, and then she has a ton of them, but if she bats one under, she has to sit there and yowl at me until I get it out. It's like, you have 4 other identical balls over here that you can play with. But she wants that one that's under the entertainment center and impossible to reach.
Oh, classic cats.
Cats, you know?
Yeah.
Am I right? Cats.
But
you'll believe.
Oh, Jesus. But the third thing that my neighbors did that week...
we're still talking about this.
Well, this is the big one. I went downstairs to get my mail. And I noticed on the ground next to the door in the hallway inside the building was a pile of...
A turd.
No.
Oh.
No.
Human remains.
No.
Animal remains.
No.
Okay.
Masks and gloves. Used masks and gloves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Yeah, and I was like, are you fucking serious right now? And then, like, the next day, the complex put a letter on our doors, on everyone's doors, and said something to the effect of, like, if you're caught disposing of gloves like this in the hallway, like, our presentation needs to be good or whatever, but, like, if you're caught with this, you could be evicted, because this is unacceptable. Like, we can't, like, allow this at all. So I was like, yeah, good job, guys. Yeah. So.
Has it happened since then that you've noticed?
It has not, but I don't leave that often, so I don't.
People are, like, for the most part, people are doing well during all this, but there are just small groups of people who are just jackasses.
They're so stubborn.
Yeah.
I think they're invincible. Like, I don't understand, like, the people protesting and stuff, like, saying that, like, the rationale being that, like, oh, I want to do these things and everything. It's like, I don't understand how the lack of compassion, like, it's not about you, like, and it's something I've been trying to hammer into my family. Like, it is not just putting yourself at risk. It's putting...
You know what? This is not what the people are here to listen to. We had a big, long conversation before about this. We don't need to go into... It's gotten late enough that I think I'm just going to order some food.
Oh, really? Oh,
I'm not going to worry about making dinner tonight. I'll make my fish tomorrow.
Nice. What are you going to order?
I don't know. I'm trying to order local as much as I can. Like, small local businesses.
Yeah, same here, but there's not really that much. Tacos and tequila. Ooh, I might get tacos and tequila.
I whipped them up, and I'm outside of their delivery range.
I figured.
You should bring me some.
I'm not going to break...
You should drop it off, like, no contact delivery at my apartment.
Tip me, like, 150%?
Well, no. No. You're my friend, right? I thought we were friends.
You just said tip extra. Are you not going to tip extra?
I didn't say I wouldn't tip extra, but not 150%.
Well, I think it's worth 150. Because I'm only going to get a little bit of it.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Obsessive Viewer podcast. We hope you're all staying safe out there.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. But this was fun. We should do it again.
Yeah, we should.
Yes. If you watch Onward, we should do that. Or
okay,
whatevs. So
I mean, whatever. I'm loosey goosey.
Yeah, I'm loose. I'm loose here.
Tell me about it. And it's just so funny the way their faces would light up when they would think of and then they enter his position.
It's so perfect. Like when he says that about the music.
Short Paul when he was swinging his feet. I didn't know what he was doing it for because I completely had forgotten about Short Paul.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But he was swinging his feet, so I was like, oh, it's a kid. And then he was smoking a cigarette, and I was like, oh, it's a kid smoking a cigarette.
And when he's like, do you want me to stamp it out? He's like, no, I know, I got
it. When he turned his chair for him. And I love how her name was Marnie. Then they forgot they gave her a name, and it was like Amber. And it's like, oh, Amber is my nickname. Your nickname is a completely different name.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah. I'm going to probably watch that again. Yeah.
It was very good.
So good. All right, well, I'm going to get food. So.
Okay, me too.
Fun. Cool.
All right, well, I'll see you later.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Every time I see I've never seen Peaky Blinders, and I think I've told you this before because I say it all the time whenever I come across it on Netflix, but whenever I see Peaky Blinders, like, I will say out loud, "Oi, them's Peaky Blinders, they is."
Classic.
So dumb. So, okay. 10 seconds of silence just for shits and giggles.
The Obsessive Viewer podcast is edited and produced by Matt Hurt and presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. For a full archive of our episodes, go to ObsessiveViewer.com/OV archive. You can also like our Facebook page and join the OV Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And follow us on Twitter at ObsessiveViewer and at ObsessiveTiny. And follow our recurring co-hosts at I am Mike White, that's me, at R.A. Feckus, and at Burger_Lurker. If you enjoy the show, please take a couple minutes to leave us a rating and a quick review on Apple Podcasts. This is the easiest way to support what we do, and all it costs is a little bit of your time. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or support us on Patreon for recurring donations and access to commentary tracks and B-roll audio recorded exclusively for patrons at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or you can simply search for Obsessive Viewer at teepublic.com, T-E-E, public.com. For information about our annual live event showcasing short horror films from local filmmakers, check out shocktoberInIrvington.com. And for an archive of all our events, as well as news about potential future events, head over to obsessiveviewer.com/live. For more podcast content, you can find Anthology, Matt's solo podcast covering The Twilight Zone, and other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows at anthologypod.com and on Twitter at OVAnthologyPod. You can also find Tower Junkies, a podcast where Matt and Tiny share their love of all things Stephen King and his magnum opus, The Dark Tower series, at towerjunkiespod.com and at towerjunkiespod on Twitter. And finally, check out The Secular Perspective, Tiny's side project podcast, which tackles current events and life's big questions from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda at thesecularperspective.com. The theme music for The Obsessive Viewer comes courtesy of the band Loudlike from their EP Mistakes We Must Make, Additional bumper music is provided courtesy of As Good As It Gets, which can be found at facebook.com/asgoodasitgetsband. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Kitty!